using the DGM template. $30.21. Okay. There's not much more to it. Suppose your boss tells you that we also have a reliable forecaster for years 4 and 5. $2.25, and we still expect to grow at 7%. Voila. Oh, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong. Price should have changed or value should have changed. Huh? What is that? Exactly. Because the way I constructed this, calculations depend on number of non-dividends to be correct. If I thought about it, maybe I could have done some sort of precaution. Maybe I could have asked, are you sure? But that requires more coding, which I'm not going to get into. I could have made the whole thing interactive if I wanted to. I could have written a code and push a little button, put a little button. You push the button, it's going to ask, it could ask you the inputs. What is the discount rate? What is the growth rate? This. How many dividends do you know? This. Okay, tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it seems to be a little bit easier to do. The, that additional code is going to minimize the risk of input errors. But hey, you need to do something about it. I want you to know what those inputs mean. If you know what those are, you put the proper ones, you're home. That's it, done. Now, as long as I know I have the proper inputs, I know how to calculate value of a firm using the dividend growth model with the two-stage growth scenario. Let's do a relatively simple problem. As you know, this model is not very good if the firm is not paying dividends. Suppose we're solving this problem. Suppose firm does not pay dividends now, but they will start 5 years from now at $2. And after that, they expect to grow at 4%, R equals 13.75%. What's the value of the firm? Let's do the simple stuff first. My R is 13.75. My growth rate is going to be 4. Okay. How many dividends do I know? No. I mean, I know 1 non-zero dividends, but I also know 4 more. Company's paying nothing right now, and it's not going to start paying anything until year 5. That means dividends for year 1, 2, 3, 4 will be zilch. Nada, ničego, sıfır. I can say zero in a lot of different languages. Maru, that's in Japanese. I know exactly 5 dividends, and they are 0, 0, 0, 0, and 2. Done. You thought this was a complicated problem? It's not. Why? Because we set this up as a two-stage growth problem. Yes, the first stage is a little bit simple, but all I have to do is the first four are 0. I know the fifth, and I know the growth rate after that. Done. Or let's do another one. Same company, except uh, after year 5, they expect to increase dividends by 20% for 3 years. And after that, uh, decrease dividends by 2% every year. There is no rule that says dividend growth is going to be always positive, right? In fact, companies known to reduce their dividend amount, which is typically not good news for stock, but it happens. So I know D5, right? Did I say 125? No, I said 2. But I also know that they're going to increase that for 3 years. So D6 is going to be D5 times 1 plus 20%, which is 240. Similarly, D7 is going to be 20% of that, 288. Just to make sure. Yeah, times 1.2. I don't even have to enter those numerically, at least. How many dividends do I know now? Hmm? 8. I already knew 5. 4 of them are zeros. After the year 5, it's going to grow 3 more years at the rate that I said it would. So 8. So that's my 8. Well, I can either enter those numbers I calculated somewhere else, or I happen to know that these grow at a rate of 20%. And what did they say my growth rate was going to be? Decrease dividends by 2% after that. So what's my growth rate? Second stage. Hmm? No. If I decrease dividends, it's a negative growth. So it's going to be negative 2%. Done. Just be careful that a decrease means negative growth. All right? So based on that, that's 12.23. If I was increasing by 2, 15.26. Whatever that number may be. Or alternatively, let me ask you a question. This company is going to pay a high dividend next year, $20, and after that, they're going to keep decreasing dividends by 20%. So let me write that down. Next year, they will pay $20, and that's my T. I know how many dividends? One, just next year. Okay. And 12, negative 20, 1, 20. So this company is worth $62.50. That's a lot of money. Suppose, I mean, I would never ask you this in an exam, but I'm thinking about a thought experiment. I need to pick between two companies. One of them is going to pay a $20 dividend next year, and after that, they're going to decrease it by 20%. The other company says, I'm going to pay some dividend, but I'm going to grow that dividend at some rate. What is that rate that's going to make these two investments equivalent? Okay. Well, I know the value of the company in the first one. Let's just write this down. Suppose I have an alternative dividend plan that will grow dividends by 5% after year one. To make this plan equivalent to vanishing dividends plan,